I'm in Thailand now, meeting the group I'm teaching with. It's everyone's arrival day, so we all have a chill day to do whatever we want. So we went to the iconic Icon CM. The first level was like a street market, loads of food, and I even tried some alligator. And of course got in there with the mango juice. Then went upstairs for shopping because I do not have enough things for teaching. Then went to Wat Arun, one of the temples, before coming back for a bit more shopping. A bubble tea, of course. I did not buy most of these, but just giving you a montage. This shopping centre has 8 floors, and I actually just found it amazing. Like, I was completely shook by how incredible this one space was. The views of Bangkok, the food. Then I quickly went to the hotel, only to come back at night. Did a little bit more shopping after having a nap. Showed the views to some of the people I met. I'm really looking forward to see how this one unfolds. It's day 2 in Thailand. We were only staying in Bangkok one night, so we got breakfast and had our induction meeting, followed by a Thai lesson. And there are so many of us on the program, it's so exciting. We all went on a little trip to a museum in Chinatown, learned about Thai and Chinese culture, how they're intertwined. Went to our temple where we got our fortunes told. Always best to take it with a pinch of salt. After all, this fortune told me I was going to have a little baby boy soon. Then we passed Suicide Alley, which obviously has some really sad legends. Then got on a coach on our way to Canterbury, which is where we're going to be doing our week of orientation. We're staying in these really cute huts. Then as a group, we made our way out for dinner, which is completely included. Then we went out, kind of celebrating Halloween, kind of celebrating being out in Thailand. Obviously made our way to a karaoke bar, played some games like musical chairs, and that was all for today, more tomorrow. Day 3 in Thailand, and of course waking up with gorgeous views. Had banana pancakes for breakfast, then headed out to our study hall. Here's the whole class. Everyone in the class learning more about the Thai culture. We played a name game, and of course had another Thai lesson before finding out our placements. I finally know where I'm going to be teaching and the age group, so I went to buy some gifts. Then went to lunch, and guys, I love technology. This is how I'm going to manage the language barrier, because even though we've got Thai lessons, I'm not going to learn that quickly. This is my placement partner, you'll be seeing more of her, because we've only got the rest of the week with the group. But after lunch we did a scavenger hunt, went off the beaten path to see this Chinese tomb, and went back to last night's bridge and caught the train coming past. It was no train street, but it was still pretty cool. And it was time to do my laundry again. Then headed out to dinner at a market. Tried some new things as always. Then back on the night out, and I'm making the most of these with karaoke as usual. And found the most adorable little kitten. Generally spent the rest of my night here with this cat. Generally having the best time, but it's time to call it a night. More tomorrow. It's day 4 in Thailand. Since this is orientation, got more classes on how to be a good teacher, behaviour management, lesson planning. And then after lunch we headed to a museum about the railway that was built during World War II. I'll add as much information in the caption as I can, but there's no way a 10-second voiceover would cover it. But I did find it incredibly interesting, and I'm really glad it's part of the programme. Just for reference, that was the bridge and railway that we were on yesterday. And then we spent the afternoon lesson planning, as we are teaching tomorrow. At least we got to watch the sunset, even though we're working. Then we went out for dinner in a really nice place called Good Times. And I think this has been my favourite dinner here so far. The food was incredible, we had a birthday to celebrate. And then I had to go to the market to buy some smart shoes. These were less than £3. And they also bought a speaker for the lessons because I forgot to bring one. And because I'm expecting a big day tomorrow, I head to bed early. So as always, more tomorrow. Day 5 in Thailand, and today is our first day teaching here. Didn't quite get time for breakfast. Fortunately, someone let me have a bite of theirs. Then we got on the bus, checked our lesson plans, and arrived at our practice school. Since it's still our orientation week, we've not been sent to our placements yet. Today we were put in pairs, trying out workshop-styled lessons, and we were rewarded with lovely food for coming to have lots of fun in English with the kids today. Everyone was put into pairs for an hour class, and there were 6 classes going on at the same time. I grossly underestimated how hard the language barrier would be, so I relied a lot on movement. When we finished teaching, we were given these Thai desserts to try, which was really sweet. Then we all went back up as a group, where we taught the kids a dance. Now, the theme of today was Halloween, so if you think you can name the dance, comment below. My musical theatre friends should be able to recognise this one, which they all then performed in assembly. And then at the end, this really cute child said thank you, and then they all said thank you together to us before heading back and rewarding ourselves after our very successful first day of teaching. It's the first time the group has had a swimming session. This pool was at the restaurant we had dinner at last night, and because the food was so good, stayed there as well. Now back at the hotel, getting lots of cuddles and affection, but as always, more tomorrow. Thailand day 6, and it's a Saturday, so we went to the Hellfire Pass. A beautiful view and a tragic history. There was a lot of similar information to the War Museum in Kanchanaburi, but there was an audio guide that had recordings from survivors who had actually been at the camp, which was something else. Grabbed a light lunch. I didn't really want to stop for lunch because I knew that there were 7 waterfalls, and I set off about 1:15. I did get distracted by this guy. I've never seen one of these swimming. It looked like a snake. You guys know I'm a huge fan of the wildlife, and these guys, I just find them so cool. But then I was on my adventure, stopping by the different waterfalls, but then at a certain level you weren't allowed any litter, so you had to leave a deposit if you had any plastic, and they would mark it, and then you had to bring it back to get your money back. So now you're about to get a montage of different waterfalls. It was an absolute trek, but eventually I made it to the top, number 7, which was so rewarding. And then I went for a swim in this waterfall, and there were loads of fish, and they were biting us, but it wasn't a problem. It didn't really hurt, and each waterfall had different closing time, so I'm glad I went up straight away. And I love this sign, I absolutely conquered. And then I headed back down and went straight to the restaurants because I hadn't eaten yet. Went back, most people did their laundry before dinner, night market, and then bed. More tomorrow. It's day 7 in Thailand, and the orientation has come to an end. We are all checking out today and going to our provenances. Got on the bus around 9:30 and then stopped at a service station. Got a nice choc as a tribute to those I met in Cambodia. I also tried to order rice and chicken for my lunch, and as you can see I ordered chicken and noodles, so I'm really proud of my Thai for that. Played and lost at chess, but it was a very good game. Then around 3 o'clock said goodbye to half of the group. Then around 5 o'clock I landed in my provenance. Got picked up by my host, and before I knew it I was located at my school. This is where I'm staying. Dropped my bags and went to play volleyball with the kids right before a quick little dinner, and since it was getting late, went back to sort out my room. I moved the table in there to create a desk, so this was the skeleton of the room before I put my stuff out. And then here is my room. Now we have no irons, so there are going to be loads of creases in my clothes. And then I mostly got my desk stuff out. And I've also hung up the lantern I made in Vietnam. This is the first time I think I've ever slept on a hard mattress. Not that I mind. And this is the bathroom shower. Got a bucket of water to flush. It's a whole wet room with only cold water. Doing some work and getting an early night. More tomorrow. It's my first full day here at my provenance in the school I'm teaching at, and I had breakfast outside, which obviously attracted some new friends. Also got to watch the school marching band. Then during assembly, spoke with our coordinator and other teachers. Then we had to go and introduce ourselves to the kids. And there was also a parents meeting we had to sit in on. And they also have a scholarship program, so they were giving those out. And then we went to the director's room to have our meeting, find out our schedule, and then have lunch with everyone else. Really yummy, if not a little bit spicy. The kids here always tidy up after themselves, and also for the teachers and adults. Don't worry, they get playtime too. Today was more of an introductory day, so me and my placement partner didn't have any of our own classes. We were driven to another school to shadow another teacher teaching English. We watched, learnt and helped out, joining in some of the activities and showing some of the games that we had. Before we knew it, the teaching day was over, everyone leaving with their rucksacks on, including us. And everyone is so kind here, offering to drive us everywhere, even if it's in walking distance. I got my daily bubble tea, which I'm really happy about. And And honestly, the sunset whilst the kids were playing volleyball just looked stunning. I was going to join in, but was so tired I ended up having a nap. We were supposed to have plans with our coordinator tonight, however they said it was too hot and too crowded for today. So we're going to spend the night on my lesson plans and my assignments, more tomorrow. Good morning! Today I woke up at 6 AM to go on a run because I have to do it before the students arrive on campus. Anyone who knows me knows I hate running, but I need the exercise. Then at 7 AM I went on door duty to say hello to the students as they arrived. Afterwards got breakfast whilst the kids clean up the school before we start the day. I was introduced to the office and my desk, and then we went about the town to wish happy birthday to multiple different directors and were invited for snacks. We also went to a cafe and were given drinks. Very generous, and of course I got my daily bubble tea. And I thought today would be my first day of teaching, but no, today was sports day, which I did not mind at all. It was so fun. I was supporting the green team because I was wearing green. I also became the English sports commentator, so as a way for them to learn English, I'd just be narrating the games. It was volleyball before lunch. I went around the school translating things during the lunch break. Also went to see the music lesson during the lunch break. And then I was back on my job. Today I tried lots of different Thai foods. I was very generously offered a lot of different types, especially when I was invited out for drinks with the teachers after sports day. Must admit there was a lot of Google Translate going on. Said goodbye to the kids, and whilst having dinner had a catch up with one of my favourites. That is essentially all I did with my evening. I'm gonna try wake up early again tomorrow. It's technically day 3 in Pitchit, Thailand. I turned up to teach my class, no one else did. I found out the students today didn't have any classes. Turns out they had this safety workshop about social media and phone addiction, safety online. I did this by translating it on the go as they spoke and with their posters, and it was fine because the kids absolutely adored it. They were so happy, and it's a very activity-filled week for them. I know that today they were setting up for tomorrow's sports day, so I mostly focused on my assignments, which was lovely because they brought us lunch whilst we were in the office. Students only had a half day today, so they left before midday, and we left to go to a meeting, a whole district meeting with loads of different schools. The whole thing was completely in Thai. I did my best, is what I'm going to say to that. Don't get more embedded in Thai culture than this, I think. And of course the students having a little practice. Dinner was delivered again. So a few of us from the Gotoco program had a group chat today. And it was great seeing how everyone's getting on. Everyone's experience is different. So I'm just going to study whilst I know I have the time. More tomorrow. It's day 4 and there was a frog in my bathroom and so many other bugs. And had a lovely good morning welcome from my favourite dog. Today everyone was dressed in their sports day colours, 3 main teams, green, yellow and red. I was given a bit of uniform today, and I was back on that sports commentator lifestyle. I was trying to use the Google Translate to translate what the other commentator said in Thai, but if you pause the video on the translations you'll see some of them really didn't make sense. They would bow and shake hands before the game, and both genders and every colour would play each other. So there were lots of games, but eventually I was able to play with the kids myself. I caught them here trying to teach me Piggy in the middle. So this is the moment that I get it. And then watch how the kid in yellow suggests we make a circle by holding hands. It's the first moment I felt like I've really been bonding with the kids. Then one of the kids swaps with me so I can be in the shade, which was so cute. Watch how this little kid tries to play me and go through my legs, but I caught it and I was Piggy in the middle. And all the kids loved that I didn't get played. They were like, wow, teacher, you're so good. They're actually more excited when I did well than when I didn't. Or, you know, like let them win kind of thing. And so I started trying a bit harder. And when they suggested we get into team, the kids were like, pick me, teacher. So I built some good connections with some of them today. Then it was my first time doing laundry here, having dinner with the other teachers. And as usual, having an early night. Another 7 AM start tomorrow. It's day 5 and the end of the first week. Getting driven into town because today we're doing a parade where everyone dressed up and there was a marching band and costumes. Parents came for support. The band was in purple. Yellows had an Egyptian theme going on. Green's theme was pitch it, so crocodiles, palmettos, boat racing, and then we marched back to school grounds. Red's theme was Chinese, a lot about fortune. Then we had the opening ceremony with a bit more from the band and a few other demonstrations. Absolutely loved this one with the dancing and the fighting. Thought it was really well choreographed and executed. Back on my sports commentating job until we actually got involved in one of the sports, the tug of war. We won, and that was a lot of fun. We were against guys in that one. Then this little girl tried to tell me this ring was on the wrong finger. And because I don't have enough time on my vlog, I'm just going to show you the ending of the day. After the sports, we had a load of dance parties, did all the results, giving out trophies, using my Google Translate. And then me and my placement partner got to join the bus today. The kids would literally rather sit on top of each other because at the back it gets so hot. But got to see more of the village and see where some of them live. Saw some beautiful scenes, had dinner with the teachers tonight, and when we headed back, this guy was waiting in our bathroom. And tomorrow's the weekend. Today was such an incredible day. We went to the ruins of an old temple in the province of Phichit, where we're staying. And if you saw yesterday's vlog with the parade, you'll recognise the pomelos and the crocodiles. There was a festival going on when we went to see the ruins, which was so eloquently caught on camera by my host. This was the birthplace of one of their kings, known as the Tiger King, and because of the festival they had free food going, to the point where we had a whole feast just for us to try different Thai food. Some we really didn't like, on the other hand there were some foods we really did like. We ate for about an hour, and once we were full, we headed out towards Phichit Park, also known as the Crocodile Park. They're also known for their boat racing. Don't know why there was an ostrich, but literally crocodiles everywhere. And I ended up buying a little toy crocodile. And then at the park we went to go feed the catfish. And after the catfish we went to go see the crocodiles. I've never seen so many in real life. There were little ones, huge ones. And sure, temples are cool, but have you ever been to a Thai Costco? Then when we were meant to check into our hotel, it turned out they had no rooms for us, so we decided to go on a spontaneous trip where we met some lovely Americans, and we ended up in Nakhon Sawang, staying at the hotel of one of the other go-to-goers and meeting up with about 10 of us, which was so nice for the Saturday night. And then it was time to call it a night. More tomorrow. Another day travelling in Thailand. Woke up in Nakhon Sawang, another very rural province, and adventured up many stairs to go into a cave and see a temple inside. It was truly astonishing. There were so many different pockets to explore, and there was also a cute temple cat. We explored some of the outside before heading out to Paradise Park, where people go and have picnics, enjoy some scenic views. But this is a couple of hours away from our province, so we went to have a big city lunch, which means sitting in a nice restaurant, grabbing a tuk-tuk to the train station, enjoying the views on the train. And when we were heading back, the sun started to set, so we quickly went to see this massive Buddha statue, making friends with the locals and enjoying the sunset. Honestly guys, there is no filter on this. I think the sunsets on this side of the world just hit differently. Just so beautiful. Saw a hedgehog on a bike, and then we got home just before a storm. So more tomorrow. It was officially my first teaching day. It started in the office and kids were 15 minutes late, but we did it guys. Finally got to gauge the level of their English, and then sabai. This wasn't in my schedule, but me and my placement partner were asked to go teach at our director's wife's school. And this was such a huge class, it was more like an assembly than it was an actual class. So I ended up teaching about 4 classes today and not filming a lot of content. Was given some food as a gift and then back to normal life. Chores, assessment, not sure if I'll be doing daily vlogs anymore. What do you think? Day in the life as an English teacher in rural Thailand. At 7 AM I was at the gates greeting the students as they came in. They clean and have assembly before their classes, so I did a bit of prep work. Today me and my placement partner started with kindergarten, and I hope you like hugs because these children will literally run up to you and hug you all the time. They're also incredibly creative, love making art and playing games. Also the Thai teachers are incredibly generous, always offering me drinks. Then after kindergarten I had grade 4s who were 10 minutes late. However, when the lesson did get started, it went so well. The Thai teacher who was in the class with me really praised me on how fun the lessons are and how well the activities flow into one another, and can see the students' improvement from the beginning to the end of the lesson. Then I had grade 7 and I thought they were going to be late, So I found a map to show you where I am. I'm gonna quickly point at Bangkok, and I'm about 6 hours up north in the blue Pitchit one. Before I was looking at where other colleagues were. 25 minutes into the lesson and I realised my grade 7s weren't late, they just weren't going to turn up. They have a lot of activities this week, and with the language barrier I haven't been told about exactly all of them yet. So I went back to study in my room, and yes, I got cereal. And can you believe this is the first time I've opened the window in my room? Then I got tired of working on the laptop, so I started working on my phone, studying my TESOL, fell asleep and had a nap, dinner, and more tomorrow. Day in the life as an English teacher in rural Thailand, but you wake up and there's 1,000 cars on the field, and it turns out it's a competition today between like 10 to 13 different schools, and instead of teaching you're watching a talent show, which to be fair was really cool. Well, seeing these little guys have a dance, watching some traditional music, hearing various children sing. But it wasn't just a talent show, there were various different activities, different projects, like these entrepreneurial stalls. This one says save the money, save the world, save the future, and so many other activities that I couldn't tell you what was going on. And when I went to the office today, it was overrun by students, which is cool because I got to chat to some of them, practice their English. My placement partner and I got to judge some English speaking storytelling competition, and then by the end of the day I went to go get my bubble tea, had a meeting with one of my coordinators, and went on a bike ride, and it was so nice, so scenic. And then I played ball by myself. I'm looking for creative ways to stay active. I also found a market not far away and spent 100 baht on grapes. More tomorrow. I was given a pomelo the size of my face today. Today is a non-teaching day here in Thailand. Instead, we spent the day giving out these little Buddhas in exchange for donations for the school. We went around the village and took photos with everyone who generously donated. We spent the whole morning and afternoon doing this, so I by no means caught every single one, but you don't get a better cultural exchange than meeting everyone in your village. Even though it was brief and the language barrier was definitely a challenge, I definitely got closer with my teachers and the Thai community as a whole. It was a real pleasure being involved in this activity, and bonus that I was gifted my bubble tea today. We did have lunch back at the school, and in the afternoon, instead of videoing the photo opportunities, I tried to catch more of the other elements of it. Some of the things we saw, some of the animals, some of the sights, and you can really tell some of people's trades on their home lots. There were loads of animals, not just cats and dogs, and the views got really picturesque. And when the day was over, we had dinner all together and counted how much we'd raised. And because we started really early, I'm going to bed. More tomorrow. I am so excited to be sharing today's vlog with you. I am absolutely loving donation days. You get to see so much of the village, of the people, their generosity, the animals, the architecture and people's homes. And it's a real luxury to experience this. Oh, and of course the absolute compilation of drying chilies, which everyone seems to do here in this village. Also went to another type of farm where they had rats, and they also had frogs and snails and all sorts, and then we got to see people doing their jobs, some farming. Of course the children weren't at school today, but we recognised some of them, and they recognised me. Now, are you ready for the puppy content? I saw at least 4 puppies today, and this should not be my highlight. Oh, but they're so cute. This guy also landed on me today. Absolutely beautiful, absolutely massive for an insect. Look at his fluffy nose. Oh yes, then I caught him flying away. At the same spot, everyone was given a hot banana as a snack. And then before lunch, we went to grab our bubble tea. And I thought we'd be doing more after lunch, but it turns out we were just counting. And so I went to do some more of my assignments. And because I had so much free time, I had a sing-song all the way through Golden Hour. Had some very special guests, and more tomorrow. Travel with me to Sukhothai, Thailand, a historical place in the northern central area of Thailand, 2 hours away from my provenance where I'm teaching in rural Thailand. Today, my placement partner and I were taken to a UNESCO heritage site, ancient ruins of some really famous temples. Really beautiful, there's more to see than there is to say. And at the moment they're preparing for a festival. We went in the morning to avoid the crowds, but apparently it's super beautiful at night. Then we went to check out the food market. I ordered chicken noodles and got a chicken foot, and the teacher told me it was the best part. And then we got some sticky rice with beans. I tried this in Cambodia and I remember exactly when and who with. Got my daily bubble tea, flavour in the caption. We managed to spend the whole day there and then another 2-hour journey back home. Just in time for the sunset around 5 o'clock. Headed on a cycle, a 7-Eleven trip and back home. More tomorrow. Come with me to a Thai wedding, guys. So we arrive just in time for the parade and actually we get told to join in. We stand behind the groom and bring in some presents. Honestly, everything was happening so fast, and in Thai, I didn't really get to find out why things were happening. So mostly I was just enjoying the food, the people, the fact that everyone was wearing blue. Here's the bride, isn't she beautiful? Take a look at their wrists. All the guests get a string, one for the bride and one for the groom, and tie it around their wrists to wish them good luck. It's a blessing for the newlyweds. And then we all took photos. This was so fun because the teachers got a really big photo. There was all of us teachers. And then I got a video of me trying to learn some Thai dancing. I think this was a post-party, and to be fair, there wasn't a lot of actual partying going on. Only the really cool tables got up. But it was just in the morning, like 7 AM till 11 maybe. Then we went to Cafe Amazon before going back to the school. And because I had the whole afternoon free, I went on a cycle, saw some students, found a good floor space to practice some dancing, and of course I went to get my daily bubble tea, tried some street food. This lovely old lady shared her crisp packet with me, and then I found my favourite dog, and look at her, how she puts her paw on me. No, it's so cute, I love her. And then I went on a mission. I was looking for a pomelo. None of the markets had them, but then I met a lady called Luck, and she gave me one for free, and I made it home just before sundown. More tomorrow. I've started my 3rd week teaching, breakfast as usual, and I entered the office and no one else was there, which was really weird. But you'll be happy to know I had a completely normal teaching day today, and I should have all my scheduled classes this week. And after lunch went to the primary school, but first get that bubble tea. Yes, check. We weren't sure initially if we were going to go back to the primary school, so again we did this lesson on the fly. I absolutely love this clip of them trying to find their matches. I might post it on my story. And then they invited us to check out their arts and crafts. They join in carving and garland competitions every year, and they showed us how to make them as well. We got a little bit involved. And of course it was a photo opportunity with the kids and the teachers that you can't see right now. We were also given Thai dance classes. Today was just a taster. Tomorrow we get an hour's class, and then we'll see how that goes. Came back at the end of the day, spent some time with my new loved ones, getting some cuddles and physical affection, you know me. And there is something so special about an animal having affections for you. Then I played badminton with a student. His father was one of the teachers who was playing football, so we killed some time. More tomorrow. So I fly back to the UK on the 21st of December. That means I only have 1 month left to go. I am officially 2/3 of the way through my adventures, and finally having some normal teaching days. Today I spent the morning with kindergarten. Lots of games, singing and dancing, getting hit in the face by miscellaneous objects. Had another class not turn up. Turns out they had a cooking activity today. So I went and tried to speak English to them whilst they were cooking. Had a class of 2 before lunch. And at least one of my students was early, but they were sleeping. Beggars really can't be choosers here. I had a class of just teenage boys, probably the hardest class I've had. Then my director got me a bubble tea on the way to my favourite school, the primary school where I'm currently having dance lessons. I've had to start taking notes because I will be performing on the weekend. And I was gifted a papaya. Then I had to set up my filming equipment for a self-tape. Only kidding, it's for an assignment. And I'm really happy with how far along I'm getting. Dinner, and you know the drill, more tomorrow. Welcome back to another teaching day. I noticed my placement partner's board. No Thai English! I don't think their English is actually good enough for that yet. But here's a beautiful view of my school as I wait for my late students to turn up. Got some good lessons in today. Then everyone was having lunch on the floor today. And here are the little ones who have now become my favourites. Bless, one of the girls dropped some of her ice cream when she said hello to me. And then my grade 5s came to tell me that they're having activities today, so no lesson. And you might be thinking, Magda, maybe they're just playing you because you don't speak Thai. No, for real. They had some big assembly all together. I've never known a school to have so many activities, but I found someone who was happy to see me. My new best friend who decided to go with me to get my bubble tea. For a moment there I felt like a Disney princess, and then came back and said goodbye to all the kids, who were all taking in turns playing with our bike. and as their day came to an end, I went to my dance class and had an hour's practice. It's going really well. Then I saw this for the first time, and this was with our director. The director is essentially the head teacher of the school. And then I went on another cycle, never seen the catfish like that before. And I went to see Luck, this gorgeous lady who speaks quite good English. And then I realised the sun was setting and I was supposed to be back before dark. And well, you know, no gym, no problem. Tonight's a free night like the rest of them, and more tomorrow. You're gonna want to stick around for this vlog because today was quite the day. Should have known it wasn't gonna be the average day since I didn't have the same breakfast. There was no marching band. But the lessons with the little kids did go really well. They always do, they're lots of fun. The little ones don't even know that they're learning, so. And then I played my favourite game. Are they late or are they not gonna show up? And it turns out they were late. So I got to teach my grade 4s, which I think is the equivalent of year 5s. But then I got to the older one, and you guessed it, no class. So I went to get my bubble tea. Unfortunately, I had more classes scheduled with the little ones today. And then we had our little chefs cook lunch for us. And this is when the day took a turn. This is the second funeral we've been invited to here in Thailand in our short stay so far. So this was a student who died 2 days ago. He died in a farming accident at work. But since he was a student, other students and teachers came. I want to be able to share the culture part with you, how the Buddhist monks drop the flowers first into an open casket, that men and women go in different sides. But I want to share that it sucks. Even though I'm living my best life, there are things here that make me cry. And it's okay because I can play board games with my placement partner who is feeling similar ways. And I can call friends back at home. But in case you forgot that Instagram is all highlights, there's the off-camera parts too. I promise you I'm alright though. More tomorrow. It's the end of the teaching week, and here's me enjoying the views whilst I wait for the kids to turn up on time. I think I'm getting used to the time they turn up now. Who knew they were just under my desk the whole time? Also, look at what I found. A little bit of astrology there. I had breakfast around lunch today, so I had like 2 servings at the same time. And in the afternoon there was like a football competition, so there was no teaching. Not a problem, I used that time to get on with my TESOL assignments. And then I was taken to my dance class, and today was really special because it was the dress rehearsal, because I will be performing tomorrow. And then I saw my first ever praying mantis for the first time. And guys, why is it so cute? This was genuinely one of the highlights of my day. Like, it's wild how quick it is. And they jump, and I was just, look at it wiggle. I had an absolute blast with this mantis. It was my first time ever seeing one. It's genuinely so cool. And look how excited this one was to see me. Oh, it's just so nice. I've been learning Thai with my bubble tea lady. And then we were invited out for dinner. Honestly, I was so confused at first. Food was just turning up and I didn't understand what we had to do. And it was kind of like in a buffet style. And we just boiled it in the broth. And it was so good. But the food just kept coming and coming. I was so full by the end of it. That's all for today. More tomorrow. Ended up performing a Thai dance today. I'm going to butcher the pronunciation. Sang Kratip was the name of the dance I did today. It was a 3-minute number, so unfortunately because it's a vlog, I'm only going to share some snippets with you. It was an absolute honour, and then at the end I was given so many garlands. But let's find out how I ended up here. There was a Buddhist monk ceremony in the morning. Someone said that to me, and breakfast was huge. Also, I think this dog thinks it belongs to me. We spent the rest of the morning doing the chores, washing, cleaning, sweeping, and then from 11 AM until 3 PM I slept. At 3 PM my choreographer arrived to do my makeup, and I did do an entire hyperlap of the whole process. The sun was starting to set by the time we'd finished, and here was the whole setup: makeup, hair and costume. It was a night festival, so everyone spent the day getting prepared, and then around 7-8 o'clock people started arriving. This dog has become obsessed with me. I have become obsessed with this dog. The performances were absolutely amazing. The little ones were adorable. Obviously just incredible vibes. I think every single grade performed, every single class, and we were celebrating the anniversary of the school. I felt like an absolute queen after I performed. And once it was over, the real party got started. More performances and dancing with everyone else. An absolutely incredible day. And that's how I had a really slow Sunday. Journaling, eating, sleeping, singing, getting on with my assignments. So the exciting stuff didn't really start until the night time. went to a festival, joined in this really fun raffle game. I won a blue bus and some soy milk. Then we went inside the temple, which was also a museum, and we had a private dance that was paid for by our director's wife's mother. So this was a private showing, but there was a public one later with the same people. We took some photos before the public performance. There are the two girlies and us before the big I was trying to use Google Translate. Use your finger to hold if you want to read any of them. But there was a fair bit of slapstick, so that was useful. I also somehow became the butt of the jokes, with my name coming up in the show multiple times.
Magda นั่งดูนะ Magda look here. Hey, okay? You okay? Okay.
My director was trying to help me understand the jokes they were making. And I also found it really fascinating that they tip the performers as the show's going on, sometimes with multiple notes. And they were also streaming the show live. And the show was really long. I think it was going up until midnight, so we left before it finished. It's Monday, the start of a new week. And you can bet I taught no classes today. At first I was really surprised there were kids jumping over the fence, and then I realised they were getting banana leaves that they used to create the floating boats on the river. Because today we were celebrating the Loy Krathong Festival. Again, I'm sorry if I've butchered the name. But it's famously known for being an occasion for joy and gratitude and new beginnings. So I went to join the kids, and then the Thai teacher I usually have lessons with today, she was telling me that the kids were asking when I'm leaving, that the kids don't want me to go, which was just so cute. It makes me want to stay. But we spent the whole day making these festival boats. I ended up having a nap from 2 till 5 because I've been exhausted and the jet lag is something else right now. So got up at night to go to the festival. Loy Krathong is one of the biggest festivals in Thailand on the full moon. The floating boats are religious offerings, and I believe it can be a way of worshipping different gods and goddesses, or the Lord Buddha, as well as ancestors. Also, my teacher said if I put in some of my hair, it'll take away the bad luck that I might have. I then also joined in some of the dancing. I left my phone on a speaker, which is why it's rumbling like that. Enjoyed more of the festival and then went home. More tomorrow. Day in the life as an English teacher in Thailand. And it is one of those rare days where I actually taught everything went as planned. I've never seen my grade 4 class so full. I think this is how many students I'm supposed to have all the time. And honestly, the lesson went so well. It was so fun. It went really smoothly. And I know I have been teaching here and there, but it feels so rare to get a whole day of teaching. And I really do think that grade 4, 5 and 6 are my favourite grades. They're at a really good age to start really playing with the language. Also, I really quickly want to mention that as I'm writing this vlog, I am trying desperately not to scratch all my bites. I woke up with at least 14 new bites today, and it put me in a really bad mood. But as the Thai say, sabai sabai. Went to the fresh food market today, and honestly it really might turn me vegan. Seeing so many markets and so many heads belonging to the animals is not making me desensitized to them, it's just making it worse. Then I got a glimpse of home. I wonder who back at home has started putting up their Christmas trees. I'm just focusing on my TESOL, getting my major assignments done. It's been a really normal Thai day. And I'm generally going to try and get an early night. More tomorrow. Today's vlog is special. You're getting 2 for the price of 1. So yesterday I turned up to first period and my students didn't. I thought they were just going to be late, but no, we know how this game goes. I don't know if it was an activity day, but there is a kid running with a cone right now. So I went to see one of my placement partner's classes, and it was incredible how many students were in there. It was so full. Sometimes in my class I only have 3 students. I did have one of them try to show me a song, so I had to get the teachers to show me, because I don't have a Thai keyboard. I was on the way back to my room when the kids were playing football outside, so I had to join them. And outside my house they were all collecting beetles and putting them in these water bottles, which was just insane. I will show you, I do get closer in a minute. I'm so glad these things don't come into the house. They're really quite big and the kids get really excited about catching them. Very proudly showing them off. Then I went to bed really early, which is why I didn't end up posting a vlog last night. Then I thought I should share with you some of the housemates I have. Now we're getting into Friday today. Fluffy caterpillars have made their home here. I mean, you can really see him getting on with his cocoon. I'm under the understanding that they're not as toxic once they're butterflies. And then Spotify Wrapped came out. Now this is an absolute event. So it's a worthy mention on the vlog. Got my grade 9s for like the first time ever. Also, the students were in like these uniforms. Today I also did a fake lesson. It was an assignment for my TESOL. Anyway, that's all for the 2 days. It's Friday, the end of the week, and today I was only teaching the older ones. Classes started off really well, but they did get a telling off from the Thai teacher. I found the fluffy buddy caterpillar and tried to go on top of my TESOL today because I'm going away for a few days. And lunch today seems to have been sponsored by Teacher Nam, whose wedding we went to. So we had like noodles ramen, all the teachers sat together. Usually we sit in different groups. We were also given some gifts. They look a bit like toys. I'm going to put mine up on the Christmas tree when I get home. And then after lunch, I thought I'd do a transition with the kids being late and then the kids arriving. You can tell me how that went. They were late because they had a lunch assembly. Generally when they are late, they all do have decent reasons, and it usually is down to the school rather than the students. But like I said, it's going on. The other caterpillar is also getting on with his cocoon. And then the sun was setting and I realised I didn't film me packing because we were off to the train station about to get an 8-hour train all the way north to Chiang Mai, and it was nice and full, the train, but here we are. If I sound tired or quiet, it's because it's 5 AM. We've just arrived at our hotel. So stay tuned for the travel vlogs. More tomorrow. Day 1 in Chiang Mai, and I started with a hot shower, which is wild because I haven't had one of those in a long time. For breakfast we had smoothie bowls and the fresh fruit was so good. And we did a tour of loads of temples. Today was a really big day, and for a moment I thought I wasn't going to be able to cut it down to a minute and a half. But I really wanted to share some of the highlights of the temples that we saw. And this wasn't anything we booked, we just were walking and a guy on a tuk-tuk was like, "Where are you trying to go?" And that's when we were looking for the smoothie bowls, and he was like, "I'll take you on a tour." Offered us really good prices, 100 baht each, and it ended up being about a 4-hour day. There was a handicraft section of the tour. Went to a silver factory where they tried to sell us loads of jewellery, and a silk factory. This was one of the favourite ones. Yes, because of the worms, and seeing the whole process and learning more about the Silk Road, which overall I'd love to learn a bit more about. And I was really close to buying something, but it was a day of being sold to so much that I was a bit overwhelmed with the choices. Finally got some mango sticky rice, went to a pop market, bought a journal and some bubble tea, went to the women's massage centre by ex-prisoners to get a massage, and at night bumped into other go-to-goers, and I found some pomelo. We had dinner together at a place that reminded me of Covent Garden, and when we got back to the hotel they were playing live music. More tomorrow. Day 2 in Chiang Mai started at McDonald's, as it was the meeting point for an excursion. Started with some bamboo rafting, and we passed some people playing with the elephants in the water. This could have been a really aesthetic video, but not every fellow globetrotter is a videographer. And then, of course, as one does in Chiang Mai, you go check out the elephants. And apparently I had the whole paparazzi filming me for this little play section. There was an 8-month-old baby elephant there, all of them very playful. I'm not sure when elephants started playing tricks like this, but it was very sweet. I had a lot of fun with the others. We ended up playing in the water as well, but the coolest bit was watching the little baby elephant play around in the water with its mother. This baby elephant had a name, and its name was Johnny, and you know what? It had attitude of a Johnny. Here was the Gotoco Group, and really I just want to share the baby elephant videos with you guys. But afterwards we had lunch, which was traditional Thai food, before heading out to the waterfall. I really thought this was going to be a serene swim. It was chaotic, but incredibly fun. And then we got the party bus going before having dinner at the hotel and going out for the night market, where I bought so many things. Got a massage, lots of food. Liberty had to go at an arcade game. We were out till it closed. More tomorrow. Day 3 in Chiang Mai. Started the day with a yummy late brunch and some massages. Then at 1 PM I went to Muay Thai. And here's the story of how I fainted. You wouldn't be able to tell from these videos, but after the warm-up, even before putting my gloves on, I passed out. A mixture of the heat, having eaten too early and not close enough to the class, I'm probably pushing myself too hard too quickly. So when I lost my vision and started going down, I could feel 2 people grab me. And honestly, the next bit felt a bit like torture. Obviously, they were all speaking Thai. They sat me down and just chucked a load of water on me. Cold water over my face, on my clothes, and had an essential oil herb that was specifically for when you faint, so I had a really good quick recovery. In an hour and a half's class, I was only out for about half an hour in the middle, and then I carried on my day as normal. I had an excursion to go see some temples and tunnels by night. Also went to see the highest viewpoint of Chiang Mai, again, which by night was just absolutely stunning. Really glad I got the chance to do this, and went to another beautiful temple where this monk gave me a blessing and wished me happy birthday for the coming days. I then lost my group, or my group left without me. But I found the minibus and then went out to a drag show. It's called The Secret Show. Essentially it's free, but you have to buy 2 drinks. Anyway, absolutely fantastic night. More tomorrow. Today's going to be a relatively short vlog. It was a travel day from Chiang Mai back to Hua Hin, which was a luxurious 8-hour train journey back. Yes, I did have a Mackey's breakfast. Mostly enjoyed the views whilst listening to my audiobook or music. Then I found out I could draw on my phone, and like a child I did. And we arrived around 4 o'clock. And priorities had to do the laundry, and that took a couple hours. And then I started sorting out some life admin, getting ready to come back, learning some resources that I'll be teaching when I come back to the UK in the new term. I will be going back as a performing arts teacher after all. Just a couple weeks left. Tomorrow should be a normal teaching day, but I guess we'll find out tomorrow. Instead of doing day whatever it is, I might as well start doing a countdown. I think I've only got about 6 days of teaching left. That's obviously not including weekends, national holidays, etc. I've started trying to do transitions with the kids being there and not being there. They're really rough. I've not really done them before because everything else with teaching is going really well. Also, if you're wondering what the teachers do when we're waiting for our students that are late, been getting on with my coursework in the office where Thai children come and speak Thai to me and don't understand that I still don't speak Thai. There's plenty of things going on in the school that I still don't understand. Though I found out they have a big drama event tomorrow, so again, teaching will be different. It's wild that I've only taught some classes twice. I'm really proud that I had a fully Thai conversation when ordering this bao bun. I'm really enjoying the slow life, enjoying the sunsets. Anyway, more tomorrow. Day in the life as an English teacher in Thailand. But it's your birthday, as my phone kindly reminded me, as well as when I was logging onto my laptop. My birthday present to myself today was unofficially finishing my TESOL. The students sang happy birthday, but I didn't have my camera on me at the time. I also got a free bubble tea as a gift from my absolute favourite. And then, would you believe it? Not only was it my birthday, but a teacher's and our director's. And we had a mini birthday party in the office. And there was cake everywhere. Each of us had our own. And before I knew it, the teaching day was over. A lot of people have said, if I were you, I wouldn't want to come back. But I cannot wait to wash my dishes in a kitchen again. For me, my birthday celebration was mostly in Chiang Mai. I did buy myself some gifts as well. A jade and tiger eye bracelet, journal and postcards. Overall, it's been an amazing birthday, and I can't believe I get to spend it in Thailand. It's my penultimate Friday, and I can't wait to brush my teeth at a sink. I can't wait to wake up without having 20 new bites, or fighting them in the middle of the night, finding them in our rooms and in our clothes. Here was a fluffy caterpillar cocooned on Liberty's wash bag. We caught the other one. Can't wait to not be wasting this much plastic for breakfast every day because we don't have a kitchen. But I am going to miss some of the teaching. I'm going to miss the kids that really enjoyed having us. Today I had an observation for my class. Some of the Gotoco team came to visit, and I introduced them to my favourite bubble tea lady. And then we all went out for dinner together, out in the centre of Pitchit. I wasn't feeling very adventurous, so I just went for some chicken fried rice. And honestly guys, I was so tired today. After dinner I went straight to bed, woke up to do this vlog, and now I'm going back to bed. More tomorrow. You're not going to believe what happened to us today. Our worst nightmare. One of the caterpillar cocoons was on Liberty's clothes, and because it's toxic, it gave her a rash and we had to go to the hospital. But once they took out the hairs, it wasn't too bad. And almost cool to say that we can tick that off the list. We did also go to a student hospital. Not sure why, but then we went for lunch. Guys, we ate so much food today. We were road tripping in rural Thailand until we landed upon this incredible temple. Absolutely stunning and an absolute secret. There were no Farangs there, which is what they called the tourists. Like the tourism was mostly for Thai people. And I really can't pronounce this temple's name, so I'll just put it in the caption. And as you can see, it was up in the mountains. And we also went to a Chinese-styled cafe. And here's my director being an absolute Instagram husband. Oh, and there was loads of Christmassy things around. And dinner, again, we had so much food. But it doesn't end there. We went to the Blue Sky Resort, which was a very Western fairy tale, beautiful tourist trap. I mean, it's, like I said, absolutely beautiful. But definitely created for the photo ops. But it was really nice to get a sense of home, with very Western styled gardens that made us all feel like princesses. Anyway, that was all for today. More tomorrow. Woke up around 6:30 this morning, and our director took us to a beautiful viewpoint. We're up in the mountains, so we're above the clouds. Although it is more of a fog, because the mist isn't always there. So then we went to breakfast, and this was one of the first times I really loved it. Continued road tripping, arrived at a Korean styled cafe, and for the absolute views. Then we went to a sweet little park, where the directors played on the swings, pushing me and stuff. It was really funny. Absolutely picturesque kind of mountain views. Absolutely stunning. And we went up close to the wind turbines. Then headed out to lunch, where the teachers ordered for me, before taking us to a cat cafe. This must be the highlight of today, especially because it wasn't on the original itinerary. We just got talking about it and they said there was one nearby. And I've never been to a cat cafe before, even though I've really wanted to. And this was especially nice because we haven't been able to pet most of the cats on the street for obvious reasons. Some were really docile and sleepy, some were really playful. We only had to buy a drink for entry, and we were there for about an hour. And then it was time to go, because the sun was setting and it was starting to get dark, and we were heading for dinner at a friend's house. Oh, and guys, look at this humongous mosquito that I actually destroyed, getting so good at catching them. Played some games, and we're staying over tonight. More tomorrow. Today was the national holiday in Thailand, so woke up at some friend's house and joined them today at their school because they were hosting a sports day, and we have so much experience with that now. And there was this game I've never played before. Does anyone know the French game pétanque? I think in England it's known as balls. It is a French game originally. I'd never played it before, and it's mad that the first time I played it was in Thailand. I'm leaving the audio on for some of these so you can grasp how well I did. So when our team won the round, we got the advantage to throw the orange ball, and I was pretty good at getting my ball close, as in matching the distance. However, in this game, the opponent can knock you out. But it's alright, I knew where I threw the ball and I had another one, so I just placed it back where it belonged. Nice and close, so they had to go again. I did have a great team as well. Roshin is French, so we did win overall. There was a three-legged race, and we also played football. It was the school versus uni students, so we were on the team with the younger ones. When sports day was finally over, we went on a cycle for sunset, and it was so lovely doing it as a group. Then of course it was time to have dinner with all the guests at the table. A nice home-cooked Thai meal. Got back to ours and found that the caterpillar cocoons had grown into butterflies, but they didn't seem to survive, which is a little sad. I'm really tired. Going to bed, and as usual, more tomorrow. I've taught my last Tuesday, and though it started really fun with the little ones, when the Thai teacher left the room it was impossible to control them, so I had to get them to do a sit-down lesson. But some of them thrive off that, so that's okay. So that's the last time I'll be teaching Kindergarten 1. I've got more kindergarten classes tomorrow though. And then I did a Christmas lesson. Also, my shoe broke. Also, because I finished my TESOL, there's the personal development section at the end with personality quizzes. And my top strength is love. Also, here's some more random wildlife. Fortunately, this one doesn't seem toxic. Had another class where the Thai teacher left. Probably because they think we know what we're doing now. But it made the class really hard to control. And it really upset me because it's one of my last lessons with them. I did talk to the teacher, and I have them tomorrow morning. So hopefully tomorrow will be better. Guys, I woke up and it turned out we had school photos. Yes, I was in them and no one told me I was going to be. My outfit did not match. Of course, I did not teach. But it was cute. It did take the whole morning. But fortunately, after lunch I had classes. It was my last lesson with one of my favourite classes. But halfway through there was an announcement and they were like, teacher, wait. And I was like, no, it's my last class with you. But the police were here. And it took a moment to realise it was a whole workshop activity thing. So I went to spend time with some of my favourite people, including the dog. Off to my happy place where this lady kindly bought my drink today. I tried to refuse, but then she got really offended. I've literally never met her before. That is the generosity of the Thai people. I actually ended up having 2 free drinks today. I also started packing because I've only got 2 days left. I leave on Friday. And then I had a sudden bout of inspiration. Some of you would have seen my silhouette dancing on my story already, but it was such good vibes. Can't wait to come home and dance. Then we had a Gotoco webinar thing of an ex-grad who's teaching in China. Unfortunately, I fell asleep during the call, which now means I'm going to be awake all night. Fortunately, I got a few fun things to do. More tomorrow. Guys, I want to take this dog home with me. I had my last class with kindergarten and it went so well. I played a game called Banana with them and I didn't expect it to go so well here in Thailand. It's to encourage solo speaking. I'm going to leave the audio so you can hear how the game goes. After the hokey cokey, of course.
What's your name? Your name is Banana! How old are you? Banana!
I'll talk more about the game in the caption. Then I had grade 9s for a normal class. I'll play games with them tomorrow because I have them again. But with grade 6 and 4, it was my last lesson, so I just played games with them. They're honestly such a funny lot. Finally taught them splat, which went down a tree. When we said goodbye, the kids are saying, no go, no go. The caterpillars have grown into butterflies and now they're just hanging out and I'm desperately trying to set them free. Then we had a goodbye dinner with the Filipino teachers. And then because it got dark, the mosquitoes joined us. And I guess the cycle's starting all over again because we found another caterpillar. Anyway, it's my last sleep here, so more tomorrow. It's my last day in Hua Hin. And see if you notice the subplot going on in this vlog. Yes, it's the romance between me and this dog. Anyway, we went for a goodbye meal with the teachers for lunch. And I didn't teach today. The most I saw of the kids was them showing me caterpillars and beetles around the school grounds. This is what they do for fun here. Got a few cuddles, said goodbye to the teachers, made a speech that of course had to be translated by our teacher Chin. Did the same thing with the students when saying goodbye to them. It's funny because some of them were genuinely upset and others just did not care. Went on a last cycle to Wawa's, had a drink with her and the gentleman who always brings us dinner. This dog, guys. Had a catch up with one of my besties, super excited to come home. This is my empty room, packed up. Had to help Liberty get packed up. Saying goodbye to the dog. Now getting an overnight train. More tomorrow. Hey guys, it's day 1 in Hua Hin. Today's vlog is starting at 4 AM, 5 AM, 6 AM arriving from the overnight train, watching a beautiful sunrise in Bangkok, managed to have a shower in the staff room, did a bit of laundry, had a nap there before breakfast, which was so nice. Then I went to this incredible art experience, all about Impressionism. For a moment it felt like I was in Paris. I've never been to one of these before. I didn't expect it to be in Bangkok, but I absolutely loved that I did it here. It was a really unique experience. And frankly, since I'm really excited to go home, today I did indulge in some more Western style stuff like this art gallery and later some food. They even had a little drawing class, this interactive art section. Enjoyed the views of Bangkok. Now I can say I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Bought some pomelo for the 3-hour coach journey down to Hua Hin. Arrived at night, 2-hour hostel. Here's the dinner I was talking about, had great service as well. Checked out the pier, more tomorrow. Day 2 in Hua Hin. Found a smoothie bowl place for breakfast. It was very aesthetic. Then we went to the beach, spent the whole day in the sea, then had lunch with half of the group, and because I've got a habit of napping, went back to the hostel to do a bit of work before going out for a whole group dinner all together. It was nice seeing everyone finally together, in high spirits, celebrating the incredible journey that we've all been on. And after dinner, of course, we carried on the celebrations and we went out. Your classic party night out, though we really struggled to find a place that we really wanted to hang out at. It was a good night overall, but more tomorrow. Hey guys, it's day 3 in Hua Hin, and yes, I went to the same place for breakfast as I did yesterday. Although instead of getting a smoothie bowl, I got a smoothie drink. Plus so many people met us there. Then we headed for the beach, of course. We went in the morning because the others were waiting for the next beach before going in the sea, but I did do a bit of bachata. Does this make me a teacher now? So yes, we spent the day beach hopping, saw some monkeys, and it was really high tide. Walked over for lunch. We had the most incredible lunch today. We ate so much food, swam loads in the sea. Then we went to a third beach to meet the rest of the group. Stayed there until dark, until we got hungry. And some of us decided to go have dinner back at the night market. Great day as usual, more tomorrow. Last day in Hua Hin, and today Gotoco planned our last adventure. It was about an hour away for a private beach, and I hiked this beautiful place with loads of viewpoints. I'll put the name in the caption. You guys know I love a hike and a viewpoint, and even though I knew we were going to go see a cave, I was not expecting it to be as beautiful and as exceptional as it was. I truly believe that this should have been like one of the wonders of the world. Afterwards we went for food, before heading out for a swim at the private beach. I mean, it is a public beach obviously, but there wasn't a lot of tourism. Of course all the girlies had fun on the swings, and the sea was really choppy today, but that makes it so much more fun. And it's nice to have a difference because yesterday the sea was really chill and serene. And then prepping for the hike back, I got an ice cream. It was an hour away from our hostel, so suddenly it was dark and time to go have food at the night market. Last one of the trip, more tomorrow. Hey guys, it's officially my last full day in Thailand. Grabbed some breakfast before leaving Hua Hin. So the morning was mostly just the travel day on the coach, and then went for lunch in Bangkok before going on a group trip all together on the canal. This was absolutely beautiful. It was a guided tour, and because we're such a big group, we were divided on like 4 different boats, but we got to watch the sunset and went to a temple as well. It was closing in about 10 minutes, but I did manage to go to the top to see the viewpoint. And of course, since it was sunset, it started getting dark, so we saw Bangkok by night as well. Had our final group dinner all together. And now for the reason I'm posting this vlog late. We went out, of course, because it's the last night, to a very bougie rooftop bar. It's known on TikTok. I didn't know it was on TikTok, but you can definitely see why. The views are incredible. And then afterwards we went to Kaesong Road. Rab driver was watching a movie. Went 7-Eleven for a toasty. More tomorrow. It's finally the end of the trip. Everyone's leaving. I had a late flight, so I made sure to take advantage of the hotel when I had the room to myself. Usually I'd be trying to cram in some kind of adventure, but I wanted to see as many people as I could before everyone left. And then went to one of my favourite places as per usual. They had a whole Netflix premiere going on, and I had one of the best lunches of my life. Before arriving at the airport and having the smoothest check-in ever, as the sun was setting, saying goodbye, jumping into priority. My plane was a double-decker, guys. Also this headphone hack for watching movies, so I'll put it in the caption. I took up so much space, thank God no one was next to me on that flight. I also spent so much time in the bathroom because I couldn't sit still. But I've arrived in Doha and about to catch my second flight. This might be the end of the vlogs, so maybe there won't be more tomorrow. After the biggest struggle of staying awake to catch my second flight, I did make it onto my somewhat delayed flight. Still had new bites, a banging breakfast at 4 AM, arrived around 7 AM. And my mum was filming when I arrived. All for the vlog because they're super supportive. But yes, I'm finally home for Christmas with not only 1 but 2 Christmas trees. Celebrating with some fridge magnets in my room. Doing laundry of course, and oh my god, catching up with the cat. It was such a beautiful day, I decided to go out. I haven't driven in ages and obviously the cat wanted to come with us. So he came for moral support. I'm joking, had to leave him behind when we went to the beach. I thought I was gonna nap, but I didn't. Did more laundry. Had a banging home cooked meal. Also, here's a sneak peek at how I travel so much. Flight points. Watched a movie with the family, having dinner now, and then probably going to bed. That's the end of our travel vlog. Thanks for watching.